Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited about what God is doing in the lives of his people. For those of you that are tuning in, I want you to share the video with your family members and friends. Daughter, can you drop the number and the link in the comments?
The blueprint number?
Yeah. It's looking good. We're live. Shout out to our YouTube family. Okay. That's it. So today I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about how to succeed in making money, in managing money, and in multiplying money. This is a very important topic of discussion, and so many people miss the memo on it. Not because they don't want money, but because they don't know how to get money. So when you learn the fundamentals of making money and managing money and multiplying money, say what? You can actually experience what true financial freedom is. And so I want to take a few minutes today to talk to you about how do you actually make money? How do you actually manage the money you make? Is it on? Yeah. And how do you actually multiply the money that you're making and that you're managing? So that's what we're going to take a few minutes to talk about today. Now, first and foremost, let me establish a solid foundation. Deuteronomy 8:18 makes it very, very clear for those of us who are in the faith community that it is God that gives you and I the power to get wealth. Now, of course, wealth is not limited to money, but there is a biblical basis for how you and I make money, how you and I manage money, how you and I multiply money. So once we understand that there is, in fact, a biblical basis for making, managing, and multiplying our money, then it at least frees you up from all of the apprehensions and all of the blockages and the barriers that a lot of us in the faith community deal with, because we at least know what God thinks about us making money, managing money, and multiplying money. So I want you to use Deuteronomy 8:18 as a biblical basis, because it is God that gives you and I the power to get wealth. So depending on how you make money, depending on how you manage your money, and depending on how you multiply your money, is going to have a lot to do with you getting to this place of Deuteronomy 8:18, which is the foundation for biblical wealth. Now, Deuteronomy 8:18 ends by saying that God will establish his covenant on the earth. Of course, the totality of God's covenant is not just centered around you making, managing, and multiplying money, but nevertheless, a part of God's covenant being established on the earth, we're talking about his spiritual covenant. We're talking about his covenant of salvation, his covenant of deliverance, his covenant of healing, his covenant of breakthrough, his covenant of blessings, his covenant of seeing his family, his church, his people rise as leaders on a global level. All of those aspects make up his covenant. So when you and I are in a position to receive the power to get wealth, we actually put ourselves in a position to help facilitate God's covenant being established on the earth. But it begins by understanding that there is a biblical basis for why you should understand how to make money, manage money, and multiply money. And then once you establish that biblical basis for the purpose of God giving you the power to get wealth, then you can dig into the details of the how, because knowing that God will give you and I the power to get wealth is not necessarily going to give us the wealth. Knowing that God wants you to be a conduit through which his covenant is established on the earth is not what's going to get you and I the wealth. As a matter of fact, just because God wants to give you and I the power to get wealth doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to receive wealth, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we know how to implement and execute this power that he gives us to actually get wealth. And so when you think of the power to get wealth that God is going to give to you and I so that he can establish his covenant on the earth, when you start digging into the details of this biblical concept of the power to get wealth, you're actually going to identify with how you're going to make money, how you're going to manage money, and how you're going to multiply money. Because these three components of making, managing, and multiplying money are actually going to be used as the critical pieces of the puzzle of the power that you need in order to go get that wealth. And so I'm excited about sharing a few prophetic points with you that I believe are going to change and transform your life. Be sure to like, to follow, to subscribe, to share all of the videos that we're continuing to share with you, because this is a part of our prophetic economic assignment in this season, particularly in the midst of this pandemic, to educate God's people. In other words, to take the revelation of Deuteronomy 8:18 and to complement it with intelligence and information with regard to your financial literacy, with regard to your entrepreneurship, your business ownership, your ministry leadership, and your investments. Everybody don't have that assignment, okay? Many people have different assignments, but I know what my assignment is, particularly in this season, and my assignment as a prophet of God is directly connected to and associated with me delivering revelation, information, and intelligence with regard to biblical wealth. And that's very, very important, because one of the most important transactions that the Bible documents that took place in the book of Exodus chapter 12 was an economic transaction after the pandemic of 10 plagues swept through Egypt. And after all of these plagues had literally just overwhelmed the Egyptians, God spoke to prophet Moses and instructed the prophet to communicate to his people that not only was he transitioning them out of Egypt, but he was transferring them into their prophesied place. But the most important critical clause, which has an economic undercurrent to it, was that he was going to see to it that they left Egypt with full hands. And so my hope and expectation is that all of the revelation, all of the intelligence, all of the information, all of the data that God has given us to share with you with regard to financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, ministry leadership, and investments, my hope and expectation is that this intelligence, this information, and this data is showing you how to take what's in your heart, what's in your head, and to literally put that in your hands as you move forward to your prophesied place. So let's get into some of the prophetic details on how to succeed in making, managing, and multiplying your money. Let's look at the first component of making money. What does it actually mean to make money? I want to give you a simple, clear working definition for what it means to make money. And you might want to take some notes, or you're probably going to have to go back and revisit this video. But making money simply describes converting things into cash. I want you to write that down, okay? Making money simply describes converting things into cash. So basically, when you're going to put yourself in a position to make money, or let's just say you're saying to yourself, I need to make some money. I need to get that bag. I need to get out here and find a couple dollars. What you're actually saying is, I need to figure out a way to do what? To convert things into cash. This is the basis of making money. Nobody ain't making no money if they ain't converting things into cash. And if you want to make money, you're going to have to learn to convert things into cash. Now, the question is, what things are you actually going to convert into cash? And the reason why I'm using the word cash is because cash is a liquid form of money. So just because people have a certain amount of money does not necessarily mean that amount of money they have is in the liquid form of cash. There are people who have money on digits on a computer screen. There are people who have money in the form of credit. There are people who have money in the form of investments. But we're talking about being able to make money, or in other words, being able to convert things that you have at your disposal into the liquid form of money, which is cash, so that you can actually take that cash, drop it in other systems and cycles to see more cash flow come into your life. So the bottom line is this: if you're going to know how to make money and succeed in making money, you're going to have to know how to convert things into cash. Now, the next question is, well, if I need to know how to convert things into cash, if I'm going to make money, what are the things that I have at my disposal? Well, let me give you an example. If you're working on a job, you figured out a way to convert your skill into cash, depending on the skill that you use on that job. You figured out a way to convert ideas into cash if you have a business or some type of entrepreneurial endeavor that's generating any revenue for you. You've learned how to convert your time into cash. You give somebody 40 hours of your life every week, and in exchange they give you a check. So what you're doing in essence is you're making money, which means you're taking the intellectual properties of your skill, the intellectual properties of your intelligence, the intellectual properties of certain products and services. You're introducing them to the market, and you're converting those things into cash. But I don't want you to just be limited, especially if you're a W-2 employee. I don't want you to just be limited to converting your time into cash, because you're limited in how much time you could convert into cash. It's only so many hours in a day you're going to be able to convert into cash by yourself, all right? But I don't want you to also limit yourself to just your skill set. Because what if you just ain't good enough to convert certain skill sets you got into cash? You're just going to live a cashless life or a moneyless life? Absolutely not. So now you have to tap into other layers of treasures that you have that you can actually make money with or convert those things into cash. So let's think about your relationships. Relationships are one thing that you could convert into cash. For example, you got one person who need to buy a certain product, and then you got another person who need to sell a certain product. Well, if you're the person in the middle, your relationship can actually convert that thing into cash, if in fact you're able to bring those two people together. Let's think about some of them ideas that you got. Let's think about things that you have on your mind that you might not even be able to package in the form of a product and a service. You know, there's some ideas that people have right now today that if they just took that idea and sold the idea to someone else, they could actually make money off their idea. But they have this holding value of all these ideas and all these things, even items that might be in your life. Matter of fact, one of the creative cash flow strategies that I teach in our business blueprints, particularly in our financial literacy program, which is one of the main programs in our business blueprints, one of the creative cash flow strategies that I teach is called the item sell-off strategy. And this is cold because a lot of people got items in their house How many items people got in their basement? How many items people got in their closet? How many items people got in their attic? How many items people got in their garage? How many items people got in the second, third, fourth, fifth bedroom? I know people that got items at auntie house, at storage facilities. Think about all those items. Well, here is one way you can make money or convert things into cash. Take all those items, which are things that you have, attach a monetary value to them, not a holding value to them. Again, so many times we attach a holding value to these items we have because we just hold these things so near and dear to our heart. But them things ain't making you no money. And you need money in order to begin the process of creating a cash flow cycle. You got to have something to get in the game of creating a cash flow cycle. You have to have something to play the game of Monopoly. Even if you don't start with a lot, you start with something to get in the game. And so one of the easiest ways to make money or to convert things into cash is to look beyond just your time. Look beyond just your skill set. Okay? Look beyond just what you do on your job 40 hours a week. Look into other intellectual properties that you have and assets that you have, like your information, your relationships, your network, your connections, other things that you might be able to package in the form of products and services that can actually convert into cash. You can also look at the items that you got in your life, items that you got at the house. See, I'm not in a romantic relationship with items that I have in my life. I don't care if it's jewelry, I don't care if it's cars or clothes or luxury items or designer clothes. It don't even matter. If I need cash because I have a cash flow cycle that I have an opportunity to create in a New York minute, I take them items and I convert them jokers into cash because I know I can always get those items again. And so making money is about you being able to convert things into cash. And those things are your skills, your relationships, your networks, and more specifically, all these items we got in our lives that we don't do nothing with. We just got the items sitting around, TVs and cars and extra stuff that we might have 2, 3, 4 of. You have to sell those things off. And when you sell those things off, you want to put a financial plan together on what you need to do, not just to make that money, but to manage that money and multiply that money. Here's the next point I want to make on making money or on converting things to cash. Making money involves solution, making money involves skill, and making money involves strategy. Think about that. Making money involves solution, making money involves skill, making money involves strategy. Let me touch on the solution real quick. Well, the solution part of making money is you got to be okay finding problems, because the people who are finding problems and providing solutions for those problems are the people who are actually making money. And the bigger the problem that you find and the bigger the solution you solve, in most cases, the more money you can actually make when you understand how to convert those solutions or those things into cash. And so making money involves solution. You always need to bring a solution to the problem you identify with. So whether that's a solution to the problem of a relationship, whether that's the solution to the problem of someone needing a product, a service, a good, whether that's the solution to someone dealing with something that they don't necessarily know how to overcome, if in fact you package that solution in the form of a product and service, you can actually convert that product and service or solution into cash. So making money involves solution. Number 2, making money involves skill. So skill is something that you can actually learn. Some of the most skillful people on the planet didn't start out that skillful, but they showed up every day. They put the work in. They learned stuff. They listened to people like me. Matter of fact, what I'm telling you, I had to learn. And I have to put to practice every day, which is why I'm having this conversation, because I understand if I'm going to make money, if I'm going to convert things into cash, which is one of the most important aspects of building wealth, according to Deuteronomy 8:18, I have to be willing to provide solutions, and I have to be willing to develop my skill set. I got to be willing to learn. I got to be willing to educate myself. I got to be willing to get around people who are more skilled than me, who can actually rub their skills off on me, so I can not just be better, but I can become a better version of what I do in the marketplace. And that's one of the challenges a lot of us face, especially in the Christian community, because church people and Christians, we always holler about who we are in God. We anointed in God. We called by God. We love God. And we just doing all these great things for God. These are all spiritual, immaterial things. But we're not just limited to the spiritual, immaterial aspects of our being. We live in a human body. We live in a natural life. And we have to develop our skills, very similar to how we got to develop our spirits. Because if you ain't reading the Bible, if you ain't studying the Bible, if you ain't getting around church people, if you ain't worshiping God, if you ain't understanding the things of God, your spiritual life is going to suffer. Well, very similarly, your skill life is going to suffer if you're not banging out, learning and developing and leaning into getting the information, the intelligence, and the data that you need to become a better version of what it is that you do or what you are wanting to introduce to the marketplace. So making money involves solution, making money involves skill, and then number 3, making money involves strategy. Shout out to Apostle Wells on Facebook. Matter of fact, y'all, we streaming on about 4 or 5 different platforms today. We streaming live right now on YouTube. All of my YouTube family members and friends, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 YouTube followers. For those of you that are on Periscope, for those of you that are on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, please visit your first cousin YouTube and go to Ramonepreston's page, our page, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube page. That's very, very, very appreciated. All right. And for those of you that are on YouTube, make sure that you go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, and go to Periscope and follow us, subscribe, like the page, and show some love to the other platforms. So the first thing in succeeding is how to succeed in making money, which is in converting things into cash. And making money involves, as I mentioned, solution. Making money involves skill, and making money involves strategy. So number 2, the next component is managing money. How do you succeed in managing money? Well, managing money, I like to use the word fiduciary. Now, even though you might not be a professional fiduciary, we might not be professional fiduciaries. A fiduciary is somebody who assumes not just a moral role or responsibility, but a fiduciary is someone who assumes a financial role and responsibility in your life. So if you go to an investment banker, if you go to some type of financial advisory firm, or you go to some type of company that provides professional services for your finances, for your business, or for your investments, those individuals are fiduciaries, which means they are assuming a moral role and responsibility for your life, for your financial life. They're assuming a financial role and responsibility for your financial life. But guess what? It doesn't matter if you go to fiduciaries or not. It doesn't matter if you use professional firms and companies and businesses to help you in your finances. It don't even matter if you listen to people like me who talking about economics from a biblical perspective. You still have to be the fiduciary of your economic life. That means you got to be responsible, not just to make the money that you got, which is to convert those things that you have been given by God into cash, but you got to assume the fiduciary responsibility to manage your money. I know a whole lot of people who don't have a problem making money. They got a problem managing the money that they make. Because every time they get $1, they spend $1. I know a whole lot of people who have made dollars, and in making the dollar, they spent $4 because they understand the first component of making money, but they don't understand the second component of managing money. So managing money, it really requires you to assume a moral role and responsibility for your economic life, but it more specifically requires you to assume a economic role or a fiduciary role and responsibility. Now, one of the reasons why, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I like to use the word moral, and this is a question that someone asked me the other night. I believe it was on one of the lives we did, or maybe one of our financial or entrepreneur webinars. But somebody asked me a question about the morality behind financial literacy, the morality behind entrepreneurship, the morality behind investing and wealth building. And basically what my answer to them was, my answer was, I assume, matter of fact, it was in the session we had Friday. We was talking about the moral, I assume a moral responsibility. Remember I was talking about that?
It was Friday.
Yeah, I assume a moral responsibility for my success. Because that's what he was asking me. Is it a moral issue? You know what I mean? Like, is it a heaven? That's what it was. I was trying to figure out where it was. Huh? I just caught that memo.
Wow. So you be the ones too that be like,
yeah, it take me a little while to figure it out. Like, ooh, it just hit me. So anyway, I'm in a coaching session, right, with some clients, and one of the questions that came up in the coaching session was, do you believe it's like a heaven or hell issue, right, for somebody to succeed?
You understand what I'm saying?
Like, right, exactly. They were asking me, like, is what is your take on people succeeding? Do you believe it's a heaven or hell issue? Do you believe it's a moral issue? And I felt like, me personally, of course, I don't believe it's a heaven or hell issue, because if you're living on this side of heaven or hell, which means you're alive, you're human, and you just choose to struggle, or you just choose to not figure out how to succeed economically, then that's a decision you make. I assume a moral responsibility. And I think for me, it's helped me mentally, because I understand I have a moral obligation to be successful. I have a moral obligation to be financially free. That's just for me. I got a moral obligation to be an entrepreneur, to own businesses, to create a legacy. I got a moral obligation to create generational wealth. And again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, to each his own, but for me, I need to assume a moral responsibility. I need to feel like it is morally wrong for me not to be successful. It is morally wrong for me to not want to put myself in the best financial or economic position that I possibly can. I look at it like that because I see it as a moral responsibility. But again, everybody got their own opinions about that. To each his own, tomato. I'm gonna go ahead and do the doggone thing so that I can be morally and monetarily responsible for my own economic life. And so, how do you succeed in making money? You convert things into cash. Making money involves solution, skill, and strategy. How do you succeed in managing money? Well, it requires you to assume a moral, because some of you might feel the same way like I do. Prophet, you know what? I'm with you on that. It's a moral responsibility. I feel like I'm doing dirt when I ain't making money for my family. I feel like I'm doing something wrong when I ain't putting my family in the best financial or economic position. But managing money also requires you to assume a fiduciary role, which means you got to be on top of your money. You got to take that serious. You got to take that just as serious as everything else in your life. You take everything else serious. You know, there are people who take sports and entertainment and other luxuries in their lives more serious than they do they finances. They do. So you can't take other things in your life more serious than you do your financial life, or you can't. You at least have to bring the seriousness of your financial life up to a higher standard. So I'm not going to be more concerned about other people's problems, more concerned about what's going on with other segments of my life, and I'm not as at least equally concerned about my own personal financial life. That's just like you having a stockbroker, or you having an investment advisor, or you having some type of financial plan in your life, and they worry about everything else except your money. Every time you turn around and you calling them and ask them about your money, they talking about everybody else's money. They talking about everybody else's problems. Imagine calling your banker to figure out what's going on with your bank account, and the banker like, well, hold on for a minute, excuse me. What you were saying now? We going where Friday? We finna go to the club, or we finna go shopping? You'll be like, hold on, dog. Hold on, sis. Wait a minute. You supposed to be my banker. But we got to assume the same level of responsibility. This is how you're going to succeed in managing your own money. Now, again, nobody can convince me that there are no systemic economic issues we face, particularly in our black communities. Because there are. There are a lot of systemic, deep-seated, rooted, demonic economic issues that we deal with in the black community. But even though a lot of these systemic, demonic, economic, deep-seated, rooted issues economically exist in our communities, it still does not give us a free pass not to assume a moral and a fiduciary responsibility, even if it's just of the intellectual value of money and economics in our minds. It's kind of like going to prison. It's kind of like getting locked up. Okay, you're in prison, you're locked up, so you can't physically be free, but you don't have to mentally be bound. You can actually start building out a framework for what your life can be in the event the possibility of that freedom shows up for you. So we're not going to deny that we're dealing with some systemic issues. We're not going to deny that people got their feet on our neck. We're not going to deny that there are not certain systems and infrastructures that have been built economically to keep us struggling, because it's real. And I mean, come on, it's real. It's real on a whole nother level. But at the same time, we're not going to just lay down and die. We ain't gonna just sit back and fall back and be like, we give up. The devil is a lie. We gonna rise up. Oh, my shot. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Oh, I felt that one. We call by shot. We gonna rise up. We're gonna assume, because see, this is where you go back to that revelation of Deuteronomy 8 and 18. And when you get back to that revelation of Deuteronomy 18, that's when you say, wait a minute. It is God that gives me the power to get wealth. God ain't giving me the wealth, but he's giving me the power to get wealth. So I'm getting ready to lean back into that revelation. See, this is why when you get a revelation about economics, it reinforces your intelligence and your information and data that you gather on economics. Because when you realize that there are certain systems and infrastructures and circles and groups and markets and industries and climates and ecosystems that have been built strategically to keep you down economically, you can always revert back. Oh, I feel like preaching. I'm trying to get bougie today on this thing, and I'm about to preach. You can revert back to that revelation. This soul by shata. That's it, katabuhu. Woo, thank you, Holy Ghost. I'm going to say that again just in case somebody missed the memo. I said, when you take the revelation that God has given to you about giving you the power to get wealth, there are a whole lot of revelations that God done gave us. God done told us you will be the head and not the tail. You will be above and not beneath. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. All things are working together for your good. There are other scriptures that God has promised his people, land and possessions and houses we didn't build and vineyards we didn't plant. And he promised his people that he would bless the works of their hands. So when you start taking that revelation about your economic life and applying it to your life, even when the information and the intelligence starts hitting certain blockages and barriers, and when you start putting it to practice and you realize that there are economic systems and systemic infrastructures that have been built to keep you economically broke and bound, guess what happens? You can revert back to that revelation and remind the enemy, my shata, what God has promised is going to come to pass in my life. What God has released over my life is going to manifest for my life. When the enemy comes in as a flood, it's the Spirit of God that lifts up a standard. And so managing your money should be a moral requirement for us. Managing your money should be a fiduciary requirement. I am assuming the moral role and responsibility. I'm assuming the fiduciary role and responsibility to stay on top of my money, to stay on top of my financial freedom, to stay on top of my economic stability. Watch this. Take it back to Revelation. To stay on top of the power that God has given to me to get wealth based on the revelation of his word. So I'm not just assuming a role and responsibility for a couple of dollars. I'm not just assuming a role and a responsibility for a hustle. I'm not just assuming a role and responsibility to get out there and grind and make something happen because I'm chasing dollars. No, I'm assuming a role and responsibility over a prophetic word that God done released over my life, over a revelation that I have for my life, that if God said it, that settles it. And I'm going to move on that thing. So managing money requires you to assume a moral and a fiduciary role and responsibility. I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. Managing money involves tracking, it involves touching, and it involves transferring. So if you're going to manage your money and you're going to assume the moral and the fiduciary role over your finances, over your credit, over your banking, over everything that makes up your life, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to manage or monitor or track and touch your income, whatever money that's coming in your life, because managing money involves tracking, touching, and transferring. What do you mean tracking? You got to track your income and expenses. You should know every dollar that's going out and every dollar that's coming in every day of your life. Not a day should go by that you're not aware of what's coming in and what's going out. Now, some people say, yeah, but I ain't making money every day and I ain't paying bills every day. You're making money every day and you're paying bills every day. You just have not done the mathematical calculations on a daily basis. So let me show you an example of how you simply track your income and your expenses to see what you got left. Okay, if you make $1,500 a month, right? You make $1,500 a month and you total up all the money you got, and that's all the money you got coming in every month. That's a 30-day window. You got $1,500 a month. Then you total all your bills. That's your income, $1,500. Let's say whatever that number is for you, that number is for you. It could be $15,000 a month, but whatever that number is, that's your total income. Then you track because we're talking about tracking. You track your total expenses. You add up all your bills and your expenses, not just your utilities. All I got is a car payment, a house payment, and insurance. No, you got gas, you got food, you got miscellaneous. You might be paying off some credit cards, some old debt, whatever the total expenses are, you put it against your total income. And then you do the math and you see what's left. So you're either gonna be negative in cash flow or positive in cash flow. Now, if you did that in tracking your income and expenses and your cash flow, if you did that on a 30-day basis, all you then have to do is divide that by 30 days. All you have to do is divide that by 30 days. So for example, if you making $1,500 a month, what is the monetary equivalent every day? That's a monetary equivalent of $50 a day. Whatever your expenses are every month, divide that total number of expenses that you have every month by 30 days and see what the monetary value is of the expenses you have every day. If you got $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month expenses, what does that mean every day? So you spending $2,000 a month in expenses. That means every day you wake up, you spending $50 or $66. See, a lot of people don't track their income to the point that they divide their income and their expenses and their cash flow after mathematically calculating it. They don't divide it into a 30-day window, because you just think, oh, my car payment is on the 16th. Yeah, but you paying a payment or a portion of that payment every day, because you driving that car 30 days every month. So if you paying $500 a month for that car, you need to divide that by 30 days, because that's how much you paying every day, whether you drive that car or not, whether you live in that house or not, whether you use that phone or not. Even if you're only working 5 days a week, but if you're making a certain amount of money on that job every 30 days, you divide that by 30 days and it will actually show you what the monetary equivalent is that you got coming in every day. And guess what? If you do that, you're going to think different about them 2 days you off. Because you're going to be looking at it like, wow, I ain't making enough money to live. Because I'm tracking my income. What am I doing? I'm managing my money. I know what's coming in, I know what's going out, and I know what's left. Now, it's hard when you know adding your income and expenses or doing the math on your income and expenses. You know it's hard when you do that and it leaves you in a negative cash flow. It's hard for you to focus on that. Because if you're making, let's say, $2,000 a month and you got $2,500 a month bill, then you know you're negative in cash flow every $500 every month. But if you divide that by 30 days and you see, okay, every day for 30 days, this is how much I'm losing. Every day I wake up, I'm losing that, whether I work or not. It just changes your mindset about what you're going to do that day, because it's going to bring you back to the first component of making money. Now I got to figure out a strategy. I got to have a skill. I need to provide a solution so I can convert some things to cash to make up that difference. So managing your money involves, number one, tracking your income. Tracking your income. They have financial management apps that you can put on your phone. Financial management apps. You don't need no physical ledger that you just writing on and every day on a piece of paper. You can manage or track your income and expenses and your cash flow on financial apps. They have personal financial apps for your personal financial management. They have business and entrepreneur financial apps for your business or your entrepreneurial endeavors, and you need to separate them and you need to be able to manage it, because you have a moral and a fiduciary role and responsibility, like we talked about. Remember that? You have that role and responsibility over your financial life. So managing money involves tracking. It involves touching your money. What do you mean touching my money? It means you got to bring your money closer to you. You got to know where your money going. You got to know where your money at, but you got to know what you're doing with what's left. There are a whole lot of people who have money everywhere else in the hands of everybody else, and they can't touch it. And most people who don't have financial literacy, honestly, this has been proven, most people who don't have financial literacy push their money the furthest away. But when you know about your money and you're aware of your money, you're going to pull your money closer to you. And that comes down to the relationship you got with money. So if you ain't got no good relationship with money, it's going to tell, because your money ain't going to be around you. It ain't no different than the people you got in your life. If you ain't talking to the people you got in your life, if you ain't getting to know people who you got in your life, if nothing in your life is changing in your relationship with the people you got in your life, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get further and further away from you. You're going to get further and further away from them. In other words, y'all ain't going to be touching as close because of a lack of engagement. It's the same way with your money. If you ain't close to your money, it's because you ain't staying on top of your money. It's because you're not learning more about it. It's because you're not engaging it and making sure that you're managing it and assuming the role and responsibility for it. So managing money involves tracking, touching, and transferring. Transferring brings you into the multiplying of your money. And this is the third component of how to multiply your money. So how do you multiply your money? Well, multiplying your money requires you to put your money into things that move quicker than you. Multiplying your money requires you to put your money in things that move quicker than inflation. So that means you've got to involve other aspects in your financial life. So you're making money, you're learning how to succeed in doing that, which means you're converting things into cash. As you make money, as you convert things into cash, you complement it by how you succeed in managing your money. Now you're tracking your money, you're touching your money, and you're preparing to transfer your money, which will be complemented by how you succeed in multiplying your money, because multiplying your money or multiplying money involves systems, it involves speed, and it involves structures. What do you mean by systems? What I mean is multiplying your money involves you having business systems in close proximity to you, because you're tracking the money that you're making, you're touching the money that you're making, and when you're prepared to transfer, which means, let's say if you're making money and you manage it because you got it in the savings account, you just storing it there until you find a score, right? Mm-hmm. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Blessings to you. Shout out to Kevin on YouTube. So now you're storing that money for a score. So you're making the money and you're managing the money. Now you're preparing to multiply the money. What you're going to do, you're going to drop that money into systems now. But that money is not going to just be dropped into another person's hand. Even if you transfer that money into somebody else's hand, you're still transferring that money into somebody's hand who's going to put it in a system. And this is one of the reasons why I'm a big proponent of all of us owning a business system. Because when you own a business, you're actually owning a system. You're owning a vehicle that you can use to make exchanges in the marketplace. You don't want to make all these changes just with your personal individual hands. You want to make these exchanges with business systems, because you ain't going to be able to leave your children your hands. You ain't going to be able to leave your children your job. You're going to have to leave your children that business, because that's going to be the legacy, the system of exchanges that you have built and put together, because you made money, you converted things into cash, you managed money, which means you tracked it, you touched it, and you transferred it, and now you're ready to multiply it. So multiplying money involves systems and it involves speed, because now that you got these systems in place, you ain't got to be the investor. Your business can then be the investors. And it involves structures, because now you put yourself in ecosystems that will be more favorable to the systems and the speed of your business, as opposed to those infrastructures being able to work for you and adaptable to you as an individual. So for those of you who don't know, for those of you that don't know, I want to remind you that we are currently providing an amazing offer for our business and financial blueprints. These business and financial blueprints that we are offering right now are a part of our online training university, Ramoneprestonuniversity.com. It is an online training platform, the #1 training platform for ministry and marketplace leadership. So for those of you that are called into leadership, in ministry, for those of you that are called into leadership in business, for those of you that just want to learn biblical faith-based strategies and solutions for financial literacy, for entrepreneurship, for business or ministry ownership, for investments. We have business and financial blueprints available. We are currently offering a 3-payment program, which means you can get access to hundreds, literally hundreds of training programs that are centered around financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business, ministry ownership, and investments, and many other economic-based programs of training. You can have immediate access to these programs just by making one of 3 payments. And in addition to our business and financial blueprints that we're offering right now, we are also providing a free VIP pass to one of our upcoming prophetic business boot camps. So that means once you purchase your business blueprint, your purchase will be your VIP pass to one of our upcoming prophetic business boot camps. And these prophetic business boot camps are 4-hour deep dives where I just go deep, diving into so many different intricate details to show you creative cash flow strategies, to show you the basic fundamentals of financial literacy that you have to know how to implement in your personal financial life, whether it's with regard to making, managing, multiplying money, whether it's with regard to maximizing your tax deductions, minimizing your tax liabilities. We deep dive into a lot of creative strategies for how to package your products and your services as an entrepreneur. We dig deep into and dive into creative strategies on how to structure or restructure your business entity as a holding company. We show you how to structure and or restructure your ministry organization as a charter, as an umbrella, so that you can actually succeed in what you've been called to do in the marketplace through your for-profit enterprise and in the ministry through your nonprofit organization. We teach you creative strategies on how to enter the world of investing, even though we are more specific with the object of real estate investing, but it doesn't matter what the object is if you know the concept of investing, because the concept of investing is very, very important. And once you learn the concept of investing, you can actually connect it to any object that you're going to invest with or area that you're going to invest in. So for those of you that would like to pick up and purchase today, we're in the office today. Y'all see behind me, we're in the office. That's the Buckhead Business District skyline behind me. We live 3:08 right now. We live on this Wealthy Wednesday. We're live, and we want to serve you. We want to provide strategies and solutions for you in your finances, in your entrepreneur endeavors, in your business, in your ministry, in your investment. So here's what you need to do. You need to text me right now. I want you to text right now. If you're ready. Text the words, I'm ready. Text, I'm ready. I'm ready. Text, I'm ready to 404-478-7213. Text the words, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready, Prophet Ramon. I'm ready, dog. I'm ready to get that blueprint, baby. I'm ready to take my finances, my business, my ministry to the next level. Text the words, I'm ready, to 404-478-7213. And we want to walk you through the process of purchasing your blueprint. I want to make sure that we're able to direct you to the business blueprint that best fits your criteria, whether it's your financial criteria personally, whether it's your product and service criteria as an entrepreneur, whether it's your business criteria as a legitimate business owner or investor. We have 6 specific blueprints that are tailored to certain markets and certain industries. And we like to make sure that you purchase the blueprint that best fits your overall criteria. So just text me the words "I'm ready" to 404-478-7213. I want to plug you in to one of our business blueprints. We want to get you onboarded today so that you can start training for reigning, schooling for ruling, so that you can take your financial life, your economic life, your business, your ministry, your investment life to that next level. And if you already know what business blueprint you want, whether it's the personal financial freedom blueprint, whether it's the church and nonprofit blueprint, whether it's the general entrepreneur's blueprint, whether it's the real estate investor's blueprint, or whether it's the network marketer's blueprint, or it is the 5-in-1, all 5-in-1 ultimate mogul's blueprint, because we got that ultimate mogul blueprint, which is all 5 of these in one. You may want to have a nonprofit. You may want to be a network marketer, or at least understand the world of affiliate marketing and independent contracting. You want to know the world of real estate investing, residential and commercial. You want to understand how to connect your organizational enterprise to other ministries and businesses. And you want to be able to put your financial economic infrastructure together through your business so that you can scale it to another level. Then we've got an ultimate mogul blueprint available for you. All you got to do is text the words "I'm ready" to 404-478-7213. And remember, y'all, please visit our other platforms. We are expanding our organization. We are doing everything that we can do to cry loud, to spare not, to blow the trumpet, to let God's people know that we ain't in transition. We're in the middle of a major, massive wealth transfer. And the wealth of the wicked is being not just laid up, but it's being transferred to the just. But that transfer is going to happen more rapidly and more successfully in the lives of those who have financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, clarity, and understanding the world of investing. You have to have those things. These are biblical wealth factors that we just have to have. So I love y'all and appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Let's see here. YouTube, Kevin, thank you so much. And a few others that have come on, thank y'all so much. All of my Facebook family. Who else we got? We got Periscope. We got our Periscope family on today. We what do you call it? What's the word? Simulcasting. Yeah. We simulcasting several platforms all at the same time. Moan the cameraman doing it big for your boy today. But we got our Facebook family. You know, Facebook been the faithful few for so long. Now we're expanding our platform. So thank all you so much, especially on Facebook. Thank y'all for participating in our live today. Appreciate it. What'd you say? We appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. And please reach out to us to let us know how we can serve you. We're preparing for a boot camp. Our boot camp here, our next boot camp here in Buckhead is going to be Saturday, November the 7th at 1:00 p.m. in our Buckhead boardroom around the corner from me, right here on this top floor that we're on. That boot camp is going to be a 4-hour deep dive. And we're going to be getting you the game. We're going to be talking about the top 5 corporate executive positions. We're going to be talking about the digital revolution. We're going to be talking about the 4 major wealth factors that are found in the Bible and that actually reflect Deuteronomy 8:18. We're going to be talking about research and development. And we're going to be doing real math with your business, with the goals you have for your business, the ideas you have for your business, with the products and the services. I'm going to be showing you how to take products and services and convert them things into ideas and concepts. A lot of amazing information we share in these business boot camps. So if you are in or around Metro Atlanta on Saturday, November the 7th at 1:00 p.m., your access, your VIP access to that boot camp is going to be the purchase of your blueprint. All blueprint purchasers, all of our blueprint clients have VIP access to our boot camps. And they're not open to the general public. They're exclusively for our blueprint clients. And we're 2 weeks away. Matter of fact, today, 2 weeks from today, we'll be in Port St. Lucie, Florida. 2 weeks from today, y'all. Wednesday, November the 11th, will be day 2 of our 2-day blueprint tour, because Tuesday, November the 10th, we're hosting day 1 of our blueprint tour in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's going to be a one-night prophetic revival we host. But 2 weeks from today, y'all, oh my God, it's going to be so amazing. Uh-oh. Wow. I'm listening to myself. 2 weeks from today, we're going to be at, I know, right? 2 weeks from today, we're going to be in Port St. Lucie hosting a prophetic business boot camp. It's going to be day 2 of our blueprint tour. So for those of you that are in or around Port St. Lucie, Florida, or if you know you can make it to Port St. Lucie, Florida, on Tuesday, November the 10th and Wednesday, November the 11th, what's that, the caption? Is blurry?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I'm all in y'all business. I'm live and I'm all in y'all business. This is what we do. Okay, so I love y'all. Let me see here. Let me see what we got. I love y'all and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Please, all of you that have been following me, not just in my personal prophetic ministry, but all of you that have been following me, even as a prophetic entrepreneur or business owner, I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your feedback on what we've been sharing lately concerning economics. And how many of y'all have already been to our new Facebook page and our new website, RP Consulting Group? I don't know if any of you have already been on there. How many of y'all been on there? We have a new website and we have a new Facebook page called RP Consulting Group. This is one of the most important divisions of our organizational enterprise as we prepare for 2020. It's an amazing division of our organizational enterprise that we have just recently launched. My wife and I and all of the experts that we have worked with, we've literally been consulting for years, but we have decided to expand our consulting services into a legitimate business system outside of what we've done in the vertical space of real estate, and we have expanded it into other verticals of business, of investments. And so our RP Consulting Group is currently looking for, matter of fact, I'm gonna just stop talking. I'm gonna tell you what we're looking for right now. So y'all need to go to RP Consulting Group, to the Facebook page. The website is rpconsultinggroup.llc.com. RP, say what now? Okay, we got an Instagram page too, RP Consulting Group LLC.com. I want you to take a look at our website. I want you to take a look at the services that we are providing and the solutions that we're providing. I mean, we've literally consulted. In the last 17 years, my wife and I have been married and doing real estate and operating as real estate entrepreneurs and professionals. We probably consulted hundreds of individuals and businesses and ministries and organizations on so many levels. You just naturally do it. You organically do it when you're as deep into business as my wife and I have been. But I want you to visit RP Consulting Group, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and visit our website, rpconsultinggroup.llc.com. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are, let me just read this for you. We are currently in the market looking to purchase for sale by owner residential and commercial properties, particularly in the Metro Atlanta area. If you're outside of Metro Atlanta, please go to rpconsultinggroup.llc.com. Even if you are looking to sell your residential or commercial property, go to rpconsultinggroup.llc.com. There's a link that is titled Let's Make a Deal. You can actually send us what your deal is about, and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. We're also actively pursuing, this might be beneficial for some of you, we're also actively pursuing opportunities for business acquisitions or to become equity partners in businesses that meet our industry criteria. So a business acquisition is actually our company buying your business if in fact your business meets our industry criteria. And we're also considering becoming equity partners in your business if it meets our industry criteria. So we'll take a look at your business. We'll take a look at what your business is doing. And if in fact you need an equity partner, we're talking about an equity partner. So in exchange for equity in your business, we give you cash and we become equity partners. Or business acquisitions, in exchange for your business, we give you cash so that you can do whatever the next entrepreneurial endeavor it is that you want to do. So go to Ramonepreston.com. That will be the main hub for you to find all of our websites. We love y'all. Have an amazing Wednesday, and we'll talk to all y'all later. Peace.